Dwight, now that the day's here, what's going through you? What are your emotions?
You know, I'm probably trying to tamp them down a little bit. It's a huge day, huge experience. Obviously, something I wanted to happen at some point in time, and now that it's here, I don't have words to explain it.
Dwight, you had mentioned a little while ago that the fact that your alma mater that does something like this does that mean, I mean, you've been a Cougar your whole life, but just to have it done by the school?
Absolutely. When I came out of high school, I was highly recruited, and I made the choice to come to Houston for several reasons. One, I was in pre-pharmacy, and they had a good pharmacy program. Two, the program was on the rise after Cheney and Elvin came here, and I was excited to stay home and play in front of my parents. And I went to high school at Worthing High School, so it checked all the boxes for me. Plus, I didn't have very much money, and I couldn't imagine having a wardrobe in it for another climate. Okay, I had the Houston climate wardrobe.
And I didn't realize this, but you had just mentioned 42 you picked that number for a special reason.
Absolutely. I wore 33 in high school, but when I came to Houston and I finished up my freshman work, I had this choice of numbers I wanted, and I'd always loved, the Jackie Robinson story and what he meant to sports, what he meant to the African American community and the nation in general. He was just a beautiful man, and so that's why I chose 42.
Dwight, what would you say was your best moment with the Houston Cougars during your playing days?
My best moment, well, to be perfectly honest, there were quite a few good ones. So I'm not a big stat guy or a big one moment. I can tell you the worst moment. The worst moment when we lost to the University of Texas in Las Cruces, New Mexico. That jumps out. But the best moment, we had some really good games. University of Jacksonville, when we beat Artis Gilmore and Pembroke Burroughs. That was a great game we had here at then Hofheinz Pavilion. But we had a lot of really great wins. We beat Notre Dame on the road. We had some great wins.
What has inspired all the activism and community engagement you've done beyond the court?
That's an excellent question. Growing up in Houston and attending segregated schools, my entire grade school years up to high school, Houston has always been, for years, had a very active community of color, and I inherited that same desire. We got a chance to go over to Wheeler Avenue Church this morning. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that church, and they had a service there that was very inspiring. The church has meant so much to the community, and it's up to people of color who have a chance or an opportunity like I have to perpetuate it and to get out and be a leader in that. And my father is probably the greatest man I know. He worked 2 and 3 jobs to take care of his 5 kids and his wife. My mother was special too. Back in the day, she went and cleaned houses for people and took care of other people's kids, but we were the cleanest kids in school, and they taught us how to respect other folks. But I enjoy the active work. Something that a lot of people don't know about is that when the school shooting happened in Newtown, Connecticut, my wife and I, we went to the NBRPA, National Basketball Retired Players Association, and said we need to do something for these kids. And LexisNexis, a company I'm sure you're all familiar with, and another company, Newmarket International, gave us the funds to bring ball players in from across the country. And so that late August, when the kids had to go back to school, most of the kids came to our basketball clinic. And that was a really good feeling. And to hear some of their teachers tell us that was the first time those kids had smiled since that horrible, horrible event. My wife and I, we treasure that, and that's special to us. So we try to recreate that type of thing every opportunity we get.
What's your relationship with Coach Sampson like, and what does it mean to you that he was somebody who pushed for this to happen, your jersey retirement?
I have a great relationship with Coach Sampson. So much respect for him. The way, the love that he generates from his players, and to know he coaches them so hard, and he tells them up front when he's recruiting them, I'm going to coach you hard, but during that time you're here, you're not only going to learn basketball, you're going to learn about family. You're going to learn about work ethic. And again, to your question, he's building young men and young women to be special. And so anybody who's in this fight with me to do that got my respect. And for him to push for this made me really happy. You know, we've had administration change, you know, from presidents to coaches and ADs. And I really think that's what happened for me. I just got lost in the wash, you know, with all the changes that have happened. But now we have something with like Willie Fritz and Kelvin, what they're doing. We got ranked teams in football and basketball. Yeah, it's a fun time.
Dwight, I was going to piggyback off of that. With Kelvin, when he came in, he sort of embraced some of the past and the history. Coach Lewis, and you know, things like that. He's kept, you know, Hakeem and Elvin close to the program. And last year, Don Chaney was honored. Just to know that the success they're having right now, and it's kind of a golden age of the basketball, but they're not forgetting the past, and they're sort of, it's kind of a bridge. What does that mean that, you know, like you can be a part of this and also see the future of this program?
You know, to be a part of the program, to be of help to the coach in terms of identifying talent, letting young men that he's coaching know, okay, this could be you 20, 30 years later, come into our program. The thing about Coach Sampson, which was different from a lot of the coaches we've hired over years, he did not run from the past. A lot of coaches who came, they didn't want to talk about Guy Lewis and past experiences because they knew that was a bar they would one day be called to meet. It doesn't scare Coach Sampson, and that's how he builds his men, not to be afraid.
What's a piece of advice from Guy Lewis that you took to heart that you've applied it to your life as it went on?
From Coach Lewis, one of the things that I admired about Coach Lewis, also I see in Coach Sampson, who's a dedicated family man. And that's a thread that you'll see running through my life with my father, Coach Lewis, Coach Sampson. I'm attracted to men who are family-oriented, who love their wives and their children.
Got time for one more. We got it. Anybody? Good? All right. Mr. Davis, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Seated.